Right, Celtic faithful, here we are. The final weekend of the season. Can you believe it? Match day 38. It's crazy how fast it all went. 1 minute we're kicking off in August under the summer sun, and now we're on the cusp of lifting. Another trophy with the spring wind brushing through paradise. There's a buzz around the place. You can feel it. Flags are being ready, chants are getting louder, and the songs we've been singing all season long are starting to take on that final victorious note. It's trophy day. It's emotional. It's exciting. It's reflective. Now, let's be honest, this part of the season always brings up memories. Good ones, bad ones, the missed matches, the ones we'll tell our kids about. And I can't help but ask, what's your standout memory from these 38 battles? Because there's always one that sticks with you, right? For me, it was that shock result against the side already condemned to the drop. A game we should have breezed through, but instead we got humbled. I hate it, but I respect it. That's football. Unpredictable, raw, and brilliant. I was also gutted to miss the early season thumping of a major rival. Wasn't even in the city. Watched it from a Wii. Supporters pub miles away. But the roar when that third goal went indefinite. It was one of those moments that reminds you just how global and passionate this support really is. And look, that wasn't even inside Celtic Park, but it still felt like I was home. Football's magic like that. Maybe your moment was hearing the crowd erupt for the first time after a long break. Maybe it was a derby day at Ibrox or a last-minute screamer at Pittodrie. That's the beauty of this club. Every supporter has their own sacred chapter of the season. And you know what's wild, some fans will say it was just that very first match, seeing the team walk out the hope still untouched by the grind of the fixture list. It's pure. And yet in what felt like the blink of an eye, 38 games, flew by. We defended our crown with fire in the belly. It wasn't always pretty. There were spells, especially around February into early March, when folks started asking questions. Were we slipping? Had we peaked too soon? There were a few draws, maybe a nervy defeat or two. You could sense the tension, but somehow it all clicked. The goals returned, the swagger came back, and suddenly we were not just winning again. We were steamrolling sides. 17 points clear now. Think about that. 17. And it didn't always feel that way, did it? There was a time not so long ago when the gap was closing, when the interim manager down south had folk whispering about a comeback. But we rose above it, took control, shut the noise out. That's what champions do. And let's not pretend it was all smooth. Some players dipped, injuries mounted, rotation tested our depth. But we endured. Actually, no, we thrived. Remember? The game where nobody expected much midweek away, not a full-strength lineup. A few young lads thrown in and people bracing themselves for a tough night. And yet we played with freedom. Like a team who knew who they were. Watching that match was like watching poetry in motion. The movement, the pressing, the confidence. Goals were flying. And players were smiling. And the support. Oh, the support. They knew. This wasn't just a team going through the motions. This was a squad alive, enjoying every touch, knowing history was within reach. We've scored 111 goals. Let that sink in. The record 114. That magical season. You remember it, when we thought it would never be topped. Well, now we need just 3 more to match it, and folks still say we're boring. Come on. How can a team scoring that will be labeled as dull? It baffles me. This side has delivered drama, passion, flair. All the elements that make this club what it is. And it's not just about the goals, it's about the spread of them. 3 different forwards, each bagging over 20 goals this season. That's not happened since 1997. I mean, that alone tells you we're witnessing something special. People love to moan, say it's not the same, that the league's weaker, that the magic's gone. But they're not watching what we're watching. This is a team bursting with talent and belief. I remember hearing the names. Kennedy, Alice, Ronnie, Glavin, proper legends. And now we've got our own trio writing their names into Celtic folklore. It's poetic. And the thing is, they're doing it without the weight of expectation dragging them down. They're playing for the badge for the fans and with a joy that's impossible to fake. That's why I think we might even break that goal record this weekend. Wouldn't that be something? Trophy day fireworks and a record smash to cap it off. You couldn't script it better. Midweek, it felt like every player had something to prove. Youngsters getting their shot. Veterans showing their class. Even the so-called fringe players were putting in 7s and 8s across the board. I sent a message during the match. Those who know me will laugh, because I've been critical of one of the lads this season. But credit where it's due, he was immense. Composed, direct, putting in a shift. And that ball whipped into the box from the wing, pure filth. The comparison started flying. He's playing like so-and-so. He's the next insert name here, but really he's just himself. Carving his own path. That's what's exciting. And when you got your so-called B team going, away to a solid side and dismantling them with that level of composure, you know the depth is real. Some questioned our goals. Where are they going to come from now, they asked. But week after week, someone steps up. And I get it. You don't want to put too much pressure on the younger lads. But when one of them came off the bench and looked like he'd been part of the squad all year, it made you wonder why he hasn't been used more. He slotted in seamlessly, didn't put a foot wrong, and even chipped in with a crucial block late on. There's talk his fitness might not be up to standard, that he's not reached the physical levels required. But from what we saw, he's ready. More than ready. Then you got the situation where players were bought for decent fees. Talking millions. And yet they're the ones looking shaky when called upon. It makes you think. How does someone who costs $4 million find himself third choice behind a lad who's barely had 10 starts? That's the puzzle we're still trying to solve. Maybe it's tactical, maybe it's politics, maybe it's just football, but it's fascinating. Tomorrow for some could be a farewell. You can sense it in the way a few players carry themselves. Bane, will he be gone? Could be. Johnston, I think he stays unless a daft bid comes in. Taylor, there are signs. Quiet ones, but signs nonetheless. I'll be watching for the body language, the way they walk off the pitch. You can always tell. A little wave, a longer glance to the stands. It's subtle but telling. And look, it's not all sadness. This team's given us everything. Through the ups and the downs, the late winners, the cold away nights, the hammerings, and the heartbreaks. It's all part of the journey. That's why we show up. That's why we sing. We'll wrap this part here, but there's loads more to get into. We've not even touched on the predicted lineup, the midfield shakeups, the keeper situation, or what might happen with the squad come summer. Plenty more to unpack as we build towards the final whistle of the season. So stick with me. The best is yet to come. All right, let's pick things up where we left off. Because while we've reflected on the season, there's still the here and now to deal with. The weekend's match isn't just a formality. Far from it. It's a day to cement legacy, to maybe write a final chapter for some, and to give a send-off to a team that's given us nothing short of brilliance. But beyond the pageantry, the confetti and the silverware, there's still a match to be played. And as we all know, nothing at Celtic Park is ever truly just for show. I'm fascinated to see what kind of approach the manager takes. Will he go all out full-strength show of force before the cup final, or will he give the stage to a few names who might not get another chance in green and white? That's the dilemma. There's logic in resting some key names. Players like Maida and Vicers who are still carrying knocks. But there's also the magic of letting them take part in the celebrations on the pitch. That said, nobody wants to see a gay-style lunge derail someone's summer. You know the type. Last-minute reckless, no intent, but all impact. These are the kinds of tackles that come from frustration, not football. And let's face it, the trophy day matches always carry that little edge of chaos. The shackles are off, players are loose, and sometimes the defending goes out the window. But there's something beautiful in that. The rawness, the emotion, the freedom to just play. And if we're being honest, we've seen that side of this. Team more and more lately, playing like they're having fun, playing without fear. That's when we're at our best. It's that mentality that won us 5-0 away at Rangers that tore teams apart in the first half before they even had a chance to settle. You see it in the movement, the pressing, the smiles. Aye, the smiles. Because when this squad is clicking, they look like they're loving every second. That's what gives me hope for the cup final. That joy, that fire, that belief. Wednesday night showed us plenty. The squad rotated heavily, but the level didn't drop. If anything, it reminded everyone of just how deep this team goes. One young lad came on and looked like he'd been starting all season. Another made his debut and didn't look the slightest bit overawed. And an experienced head returned, adding calm and control exactly when it was needed. There wasn't a single weak link on the pitch. Everyone pulled their weight. One of the biggest surprises was a player I've personally criticized all year. But fair play to him, he turned in a performance that made me eat my words. That's the mark of a proper pro. No sulking, just graft. Then there was Forrest. Oh, what a shift! He's been knocking on the door for weeks now, and I'd be stunned if he doesn't start on the weekend. The only thing missing was a goal, and he'll be itching to put that right. Watching him dart in and out, testing the fullbacks, whipping and crosses, he was a nightmare to deal with. And the fact he's been overlooked for large spells this year makes you wonder. Same with Macau. He's been nothing short of brilliant. Lately, when he's on the pitch, he's calm, composed, and always looking to make something happen. As for the backline, I wouldn't be risking anyone carrying a knock. Not now. Not when the cup final is around the corner. If Johnston's hip is even slightly off, give him the day off. Let Alston slot in. He's earned it. Taylor, same deal. If he starts and comes off around the 70-minute mark, watch the reaction. Might tell us all we need to know about his future. There's always that one substitution on trophy day that feels more like a farewell than a tactical change. You know the one. Midfield's trickier. McGregor, Bernardo, McKenn. They ran the show midweek, but I reckon the gaffer brings back Hitati if he's fit. When he's on it, he's our engine. And you want your engine purring going into a final. I'd keep Bernardo in there too. He's grown into the season and his presence brings balance. That leaves one spot. For me, McGregor keeps it. He's the heartbeat. Always has been. Always will be. He sets the tempo, controls the mood, and you need that calm on a day where emotions will be high. Up front, Forrest has to start. No question. Give him the full 90. Let him have his moment. He's earned it. On the other side, maybe. Kenny gets another go. He looks sharp. Scored a good goal. Played with confidence. But then again, how do you leave out Kun? The man's been lethal. 5 games, 5 goals. He's chasing the 20-goal mark, and you know he's hungry. So maybe you start with Forrest, and Kun then bring Kenny on for the final half hour. Let him stretch legs, torment tired defenders, and hopefully bag another. And here's the wild card. The keeper. Who gets a nod? Do you go with the lad who's been solid while Michael's been out, or bring back the number 1 for a farewell appearance? Personally, I'd stick with the one in form. Reward the work. He's done nothing wrong, and pulling him now feels harsh. But if Michael is fit and sharp, maybe you give him the nod. Let him lift the trophy. That's the balance the manager has to strike. Sentiment or momentum. Whatever the decision, I just want us to enjoy it. This team has earned the right to celebrate in front of a packed paradise, basking in the glory of another title. And maybe, just maybe, we get those 3 goals to match the record, or more. Because this team, when it's flowing, is unstoppable. You know it, I know it, and come Saturday, so will everyone else. We've still got plenty to talk about. Summer transfers, who stays, who goes, and what's next for some of these lads. But that's for later. For now, let's soak it all in. One last dance at Celtic Park. One last roar. One last 90 minutes to remind the world who we are. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's a buzz drifting through the streets of Glasgow this week. And it's not just the sound of the bagpipes or the usual Parkhead optimism. A rumor, as yet unconfirmed but rapidly gaining traction, suggests none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, the Cristiano Ronaldo has had kind words to say about Celtic Football Club. In a world where football gossip rarely amounts to more than smoke and mirrors, this particular whisper has Celtic supporters daring to dream, or at the evil very least, smiling with pride. According to sources close to the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, Ronaldo is said to have spoken admiringly of the atmosphere at Celtic Park, referring to it as one of the most passionate footballing venues he's experienced or heard about. While the Portuguese star has never graced the pitch in the famous green and white, it's no secret that many of Europe's top players hold the Celtic crowd in high regard, with legends like Messi and Iniesta also having praised the club's unmatched energy during European nights. Whether Ronaldo's alleged compliment was made in passing or with deeper sentiment is unclear, but the idea that one of the game's greatest might harbor respect for the boys has been enough to ignite chatter among fans and pundits alike. Social media has been quick to react, with Celtic supporters proudly sharing the rumor and reminiscing about historic Champions League nights, particularly the famous 2-1 victory over Ronaldo's Manchester United in 2006. It's a reminder of Celtic stature on the global stage. despite playing in a league often overlooked by Europe's elite. Ronaldo's supposed comments, if true, reaffirm what Hoops fans have always believed, that there's something special about paradise. And even if the rumor fades into the usual mist of football folklore, it's brought a bit of magic to May in Glasgow. Hello fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.